morning to one and all present here. I would like to extend a heartfelt welcome to all the dignitaries, the law professors, undergraduate, postgraduate students, research scholars, and other guests present today for the inauguration of the University Law College Special Lecture Series. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Mahatma Gandhi. In the current days of uncertainty and chaos, all lives, regardless of social and geographically constructed barriers, are affected. The constant flux and hubbub of our lives have come to a startling halt. Although educational institutions can no longer conduct classes, the process of learning never stops. Even during the days of darkness, there is always hope for a brighter tomorrow. Keeping that in mind, University Law College has taken up the initiative to conduct this special lecture series to connect stalwarts of various fields to eager minds under the leadership of our principal, Professor Dr. Suresh V. Nadagaudar, the Chairman, Department of Studies in Law, and Dean Faculty of Law, Professor Dr. N. Dashrath, the former Principal, Professor Dr. V. Sudesh, and the faculty of University Law College. Today, we present to you the first of many lectures in the University Law College Special Lecture Series. I, Niharika D'Souza, student of University Law College, Bangalore University, consider it my privilege to be the Master of Ceremonies for this inaugural lecture. In this special lecture series, University Law College has in store a galaxy of luminaries in various fields such as law, economics, social science, inter alia, to address several pressing key issues and provide us with their knowledgeable insights on such topics. And to start off today, we have with us our own alumni, Justice N. Santosh Hegde. At this outset, I request Professor Dr. Suresh V. Nadagaudar, Principal, University Law College, Bangalore University, to kindly render the welcome address.
Okay, thank you, Niharika. Good morning, everyone. Honorable Justice Santosh Hegde ji, esteemed colleagues, invitees and guests, President and Honorable members of the Alumni Association, dear students, research scholars, Sri B.V. Acharya, former Advocate General, who is also present here on the occasion. Indeed, I am happy to place before you that we are launching special lecture series with an intention to derive knowledge from the eminent speakers in the field of law and related areas, and to keep ourselves busy with academic activities, particularly in this pandemic situation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very fortunate and privileged to have Justice Santosh Hegde ji, our illustrious alumni, to inaugurate and deliver this inaugural lecture. I, on behalf of Bangalore University and University Law College and all my colleagues and students, extend him a very warm and cordial welcome to this program.
Thank you.
Hearty welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And I extend a very warm welcome to all our colleagues, Professor V. Sudesh, former Principal, Dean Faculty of Law, Professor N. Dashrath, present Chairman and Dean Faculty of Law, Dr. Satish Gowda, Dr. Jyoti Vishwanath, Dr. Chandrakanti, and our librarian Shiv Kumari, and all our members. And I also extend a very warm welcome to our President of University Alumni Association and all esteemed members of the Alumni Association for this program. And I make a special mention and extend my hearty welcome to Sri B.V. Acharya sir for gracing this occasion. And in fact, we have also requested him to deliver a special lecture in this special lecture series, and we are waiting for his confirmation. Hearty welcome to you, sir. And we have many guests and invitees who are present to hear Honorable Justice Santosh Hegde ji. I extend all of them a very warm welcome. I extend a warm welcome to all our students and research scholars to this program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, without any further delay, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce the esteemed dignitary here for this event, Honorable Mr. Justice Santosh Hegde. Sir was born on June 16, 1940. He graduated from University Law College, formerly Government Law College, in 1965. After completing apprenticeship and training, he enrolled as an advocate in 1966. He was designated senior advocate, and this position he was in till 1988. He worked as the additional Solicitor General for the Union of India from 1989 to 1990. In 1999, Sir was elevated as the judge of the Supreme Court of India. He retired in 2005. Sir then went on to serve in the Karnataka Lokayukta from 2016 to 2006, to 2011. During his tenure as the Lokayukta, he unearthed several scandals and rendered valuable contribution to uphold the rule of law. He is known for his simplicity and humility. Sir, we are truly honored to have you with us today. You may now address the gathering.
Thank you. Professor Nadgowda, members of the faculty present there, other invitees, including my friend Sri B.V. Acharya, and most importantly, my dear students. I deem it an honor to be present in this inaugural function. I thank the principal, dean, and the other faculty members for giving me this opportunity of expressing my views to the students and others present there. I was just an ordinary student. I was not a great scholar or anything. I joined law because I wanted to continue to play hockey, where I was representing the state of Mysore and University of Mysore. As a matter of fact, I wanted to be a professional hockey player, but luck wouldn't have it. I became a lawyer. Rest, Niharika just told you what happened in my life, purely accidental. Only thing I can say, and I'm proud of, is I have discharged my duties in whatever post I was holding, honestly, and to the best of my ability. My dear students, until I came to the institution of Karnataka Lokayukta, I think I was a frog in the well. I did not know what was really happening in the society. I was comfortable, and I thought everybody was comfortable. When I came to Karnataka Lokayukta, where I had an opportunity of interacting with the people, which I missed as a judicial officer, or maybe even a practicing lawyer, I realized the sufferings of the people. And I was sort of thinking it over and over in my mind. Why is this happening? In a country which had such great reputation for moral values, why it was happening like that? Then I realized it's all because of fall in the social values. I could see the sufferings of the people because of this fall in the social values, especially from the posts that were created for serving the people. In that background, I thought it is my duty to bring it to the notice of the youth of this country so that they can bring about a change and bring back the social values which our elders had established in the society for peace and solidarity. My dear students, in that process, I've been to more than 1,600 educational institutions, speaking the same thing. There's nothing new. I'm not a philosopher. I'm not a great thinker. I only talk about my experience in the Karnataka Lokayukta, which many of you may not get it in your life. Many elders also would not have got it. So I thought, since I have this information, I must bring it to the notice of the youth of the country, because they alone can change the society, not people of my age, because people of my age are responsible for bringing the society to this level. It's in that process I realized that we have lost two of the most important social values: honesty and humanism, without which public administration is of no use. And unfortunately, in my opinion, those two values we do not find in public administration today. I may be wrong, but in my opinion, in today's administration, the man in the seat of power keeps questioning himself before taking a decision. And that question is, what is in it for me? This is the administration which I saw from very close quarters. Hoping that you, the youth of this country, can change and will change, I am doing my bit, whereby I can persuade a small section of the people, at least, to bring about this change, which may percolate to the rest of the society. And one day in the near future, we'll go back to the days of our elders, where moral values were the most important thing in one's life. My dear students, I'm not a great reader, but I remember somebody telling me what our elders used to think about these values, at least one of them. It's in Kannada. I distinctly remember it, where it says, "Yene agu ninage bekadavanagu, adre modalu manavanagu." ಎಂಥ ವಿಚಾರ, ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಆ ಮಾನವೀಯತೆ ಇವತ್ತು? You find this humanism in cross-section of the society? I'm sorry to say, no, it's not there. It's in this background I would like to place before you certain facts of past life in this country. People came to public life to serve. It was not a profession, it was a service. Could it be political administration? It could be real administration. It could be dispensation of justice. None of them have any value unless it is administered honestly and with the human touch. Just to give an example, in anticipation of independence to this country, our elders created a body called Constituent Assembly. That assembly functioned from 1946 to November 1949. And it produced a wonderful document called the Constitution of India. In the Constituent Assembly, one of the first things that came for discussion was what type of a political system that this country should adopt when it became free. Our elders discussed this subject with real sincerity. They said, we Indians were never ever independent. We were under the rules of Rajas, Maharajas, Zamindars. They took the decision they liked. They said, now that we're going to become independent, let's adopt a political system by which every Indian feels this governance is mine. It's for me. It's by me. In that background, they chose democracy as the political system of this country. My dear students, The meaning of democracy in 1946 and maybe some years thereafter was government of the people, by the people, for the people. I don't think that definition holds good in the present day governance. After our elders chose democracy, and after democracy became part of the political system of this country, in the Constitution, our elders provided for 3 pillars: the legislature, the executive, the judiciary. Let me place before you my views. I may be prejudiced, take it with a pinch of salt if you think it's necessary. As I mentioned, after creation of legislature, elections were held. People contested election not to earn money, even legitimately, not to earn money, but to serve people. So were the services, the executive, the judiciary. But what's happened now? Is it the same institution that our elders created, which came into existence on 26th of January 1950? Over the decades, things have changed. Change was not because of any institution directly. Change was because of fall in moral value in the society. There was a time when a person who was corrupt was boycotted by the society. Does it prevail anymore? According to me, no, because I saw it from very close quarters as Lokayukta Karnataka. Today, the society respects money and power only. How it is acquired, be it the money or the power, nobody questions. If you have money, you get power. You have power, you get money. At what cost? How many of you, how many of your elders would have seen the sufferings of the people because of want of these 2 values at least? I've seen it from close quarters. Take, for example, the functioning of the legislature. As I mentioned to you, while accepting democracy as the political system of this country, people discuss the pros and cons. The members of the Constituent Assembly discuss the pros and cons of it. And after the end of the debate, they unanimously chose democracy as the political system. The successor to the Constituent Assembly is the present Parliament or the state legislature, or even the local bodies. Does that commitment of service continues to be there in this institution? I'll give you a few examples. It's not out of prejudice. I am not a politician, but out of my experience. In 2016, Lok Sabha was to meet for 14 days. But not one day a proper discussion took place in the House. House met. There was disturbance in the House. Adjourned. 14 days, nothing constructive happened. Times of India said at that time, cost of 1 day's proceeding in the Lok Sabha was 10 crores. Its system continues. We read it very often, what happens in the assemblies. It could be the Parliament. It could be the state legislature. We have seen what has happened in the Karnataka legislatures, how constructive the proceedings are. Take the second pillar of the Constitution, the executive. When the creation of executive was taking place or being discussed in the Parliament, Constituent Assembly, our elders said, they are the future administrators. Let's choose best of them. Let there be no political interference. Let's create an independent body called Public Service Commission for this election. So public service commissions were established. What's happened to these commissions? Recently, Karnataka police have filed a charge sheet against one of the past Public Service Commission chairman, mentioning how much money was taken for giving a job. But think of this person who gives money and comes and joins a job. Can he be honest? If he is questioned, he says, bitti bandil re kottu bandidene. Let's take the third pillar of the Constitution. I served that institution for almost 50 years. When I was there were deficiencies. But for various reasons, none of us spoke about the institution we were serving. I'm out of it now. I see it. I speak only one shortcoming in the system. How many fora have we created for settling a dispute? The trial court, first appellate court, second appellate court, high court, Supreme Court. In each court today, it takes more than 10 years so that when the ultimate case comes to an end, it's 50 to 60 years. Will the party be alive? If he is alive, will the result matter at all? Is it necessary to have so many forums or fora? In many countries, there are only one trial court and one appellate court. If you lose in the first court and you lose in the second court, the party who lost the case in the first court and goes to the second court is heavily punished monetarily. Why do we have so many? I know, after all, it is manned by human beings. They may make a mistake. But that doesn't mean the next court is not handled by a human being, or the third court, or the high court, or the Supreme Court. How do you know the last court does justice if that is your thinking? There is a saying, justice delayed is justice denied. But it is countered by saying justice hurried is justice buried. Should we not change the system? But will the institutions involved in judicial dispensation agree for it? Of course, they'll say, oh, that man is now talking. When he was in the profession, he was not talking. Yes, that's correct. At least I'm talking about it now. When greed has inflicted every section of the society and all the instrumentalities therein. Humanism is also a victim. Let me just give you a few examples, just one or two in each institution, which makes me feel that these are the shortcomings in today's society. In 2009, an handicapped tailor and his wife brought a 6-month-old child to my institution, Lokaita, not my personal institution, where I was serving. I asked them, what's the problem? He said, sir, this child looks perfectly all right, but it has no rectum. It eats through the mouth, defecates through the mouth. The local doctor said, don't be worried, take the child to a specialty hospital where a qualified pediatric surgeon will rectify the deficiency. Believing that, they took the child to a government medical college hospital. The pediatric surgeon examines the child and says, I'll do everything, but it'll cost you some money. Husband and wife, being poor, gave what little they had or kept it in his table. He counts that money and he says, for this money, I'll make a hole near the rib cage. That's all I can do. The fecal matters will go out from that. Child will have no control, so it has to wear a bag throughout the life. The parents didn't believe the doctor. They brought the child to Lokayuktha. Lokayuktha officers took the child to Manipal Hospital in the old airport road and begged of the doctors to do the operation. They did it successfully. Today, that child is about 8 years or 9 years old. Absolutely no problem. Imagine if the child was the doctor's own child. Would you have done it? Because the child is poor, that child did not have a right to be treated. Was it not the right of the child to get free treatment in a government hospital? I leave it to you, youngsters, to think about it and understand the consequences of greed in the society. I can give you hundreds of examples of various departments, not only hospitals. Well, hospital examples are heart-touching. Others may not be. Let me come to give you another example. 2010, an old lady came to my office with a handicapped son. I said, what's the problem? She said, sir, I have no income. This son has no income. I have a son working in Mumbai. He sends me 250 rupees by money order. The postman wants 10% of that to deliver that money to me. If I don't give it to him, he makes an endorsement, visited the addressee 3 times, not found, money is returned. God knows where it returned, where it goes. Now look at the other aspect of the same case. Postman did not come under the jurisdiction of the Lokayuktha. So I contacted a concerned officer of that and requested him to help out. He must have calculated 250, 10%, 25 rupees. He tells me, sir, 25 rupees case, sir. My officers are busy investigating scams of crores and crores of rupees. I have no officers, but you have a police force. Why don't you do it? Look at the greed of one person in the field and the arrogance of power on the other side. Of course, Karnataka Lokayuktha police spoke to the postman in their language. Problem was solved. That doesn't mean the entire society is like this. For example, in 2012 or 13, I think, a youngster called Harish Nanjappa was riding a motorcycle in the outskirts of Bangalore. He meets with an accident. A punctured wheel of a lorry runs over his body. Body is divided into 2 pieces. There were lots of people surrounding the victim, taking photographs, making videos. He was alive. He asked for a little water. Nobody gave anything. The ambulance came. The pieces of body were picked up and put in the ambulance. He was still alive. He told the staff, please tell the doctor to donate my eyes. This is not a made-up story. It appeared in all the media. In 2014, 14, I think, ZTV gave a posthumous award to this Harish Nanjappa's mother. And they invited me to give that award. Should we not have at least fraction of that Harish humanism in us? My dear student, intelligence is a gift of God. Use it. Have an ambition to become somebody big. Become successful in your career. Become millionaires. Nothing wrong, but legitimately. In that process of fulfilling your ambition, do not put your hand into somebody's pocket. Do not steal from somebody's plate. It will never, ever give you happiness. I can assure you, I have followed what I am preaching you now. Forgive me for what I am going to say now. Because the Bible has said, let not the left hand know what the right hand gave. But the situation is different. I don't want you all to think that I have done everything, made enough money, having experienced wealth and happiness, that I'm telling you not to be greedy. No. In 2011, one institution gave me an award with 1 crore rupees. I said, I don't want it, but I requested them to give it to an institution which I nominate. They said yes. Then there was a confusion in my mind, who shall I give it to? If I give it to an NGO, there will be a rumor that I gave 1 crore rupees to them and took back half of it in cash. I didn't want any such allegations to be made. I contacted General V.K. Singh today, who is a minister in the Central Cabinet, who was the Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Army. And I told him to take that money. And he took it. It was given to the Indian Army in a function at Delhi, where I was present too. I got many awards, but cash in it. Never took 1 rupee out of that. I'm very happy. I'm content. My dear students, it's my humble request to you to develop an attitude of contentment and humanism. It brings great bit of happiness in your life. Thank you for listening to me. Niharika, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us, sir, and how we can draw out of those experiences to bring about the much needed change in our society. Thank you so much. Now I hand over the floor to Mr. Ajit to carry out the Q&A session. I hope all the participants who are interested to ask the questions have shared their questions with Mr. Satyajit, the co-host of the meeting.
I can assure you that I don't get angry. You can ask questions, personal questions, criticisms. I'll take it. Please go ahead. Not to bother about.
Yes, sir. So the first question is,
Yeah.
From Sumuk Bhira. In order to foster democratic ideals, should we revamp our constitution in order to have direct elections for the president and Rajya Sabha members? And if yes, over the years, the Rajya Sabha has lost its relevance. What can be done to make it relevant again?
I don't think there is anything wrong or any shortcomings there in our Indian constitution. It's one of the best constitution the world has ever seen. It's the way it is implemented by we, the human beings. Therefore, let us not think in terms of changing the constitution. Maybe there is a requirement in changing some of the laws, which has proved to be futile, but not the constitution. The constitution has been amended any number of times, very often unwantedly. So let's not fiddle around with the constitution. Let's change our attitude towards our responsibility. Let us understand why we have been conferred with that responsibility, for what purpose. Is it not meant to serve the people of this country? If it is not, then it's a different thing. The fault doesn't lie with the constitution, it lies with we the people. But otherwise, if you discharge your duties honestly with a human touch, our constitution can be a great boon to the citizens of India. Let's not think in terms of changing others and other things. Let's change ourselves. Understand the responsibility. Be satisfied with your income from that responsibility. Legitimate income, I mean. Then things will be better.
Yes, sir. The following question is from our own faculties, Dr. Satish and Gowda, sir. Sir, you can unmute and ask the question.
Sir, namaste, sir.
Namaste.
I have a question that,
Go ahead.
according to the report of National Election Watch and Association for Democratic Reforms, nearly 90% of the Rajya Sabha MPs are crorepathi's, while the average of total assets upper house parliamentarian is almost 55 crore, says report, and 16th Lok Sabha members are richest and have most MPs with criminal charges. In this situation, how democratic values and social values will be survived? That is my question, sir. How to overcome? What is your suggestion?
There's a very difficult situation to solve this problem. In our jurisprudence, a person is held to be innocent until proven to be guilty.
Yeah.
Proven to be guilty means ultimately proven to be guilty, meaning thereby not only the trial court, not only the first appellate court, not only the high court, not only this, until the Supreme Court holds him guilty, he is not guilty of the charge.
Yeah.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, if it takes 50 to 55 years to hold a person ultimately guilty, what is the use of the law? That is why this problem is there. First court holds a person guilty. There are many members of parliament who have been convicted by the first court, but they got a stay order or a bail in the appeal court. Therefore, he is not debarred from contesting election. The object of the law which prohibits a convicted person from contesting an election and becoming an elected representative is totally defeated. Therefore, you change the hierarchy of appeals. You impose a method by which the disposals are faster. Even the special courts by itself will not solve the problem, because from the special court you go to the old system. as you yourself said, I think it is in the present parliament, there are nearly 47 to 48% against whom criminal charges are pending. Is it a matter of pride for us? And we have voted them? What sort of a society we are in? Of course, a bar should be there. The punishment should be final. But otherwise, you can defeat the right of a person by filing false FIRs. Therefore, let the entire criminal proceeding come to an end within 6 months, then see the change. The fault doesn't lie with the law. Fault lies with the people who are implementing the law. Except maybe the fora that is provided to waste time. Therefore, the principle that only a convicted person is debarred from contesting an election is a good principle, but make it practical. Yes, sir.
So,
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
so the next question. Over the years, members of judiciary have come under scrutiny where they accept key positions in politics, legislature, corporate boards, etc. What can be done to stop this? What can be done to stop this?
If you want to stop it, you can say that after holding an office for public office for so and so time, you can't hold any other public office. You can make a law. But then what's the purpose? These are the people who acquire certain knowledges from different posts that they have held. It could be an administrative post by an All India service officer. It could be a judge who has served in the judiciary for some time. What is it? Why don't we use it? Such knowledge. But then today what is happening is those jobs go to people who serve the masters. Holding your post as an IAS officer or as a judge or anything, you do service to the same, then you get promoted or rather assigned a new job.
Yes, sir. The next question is from
our selection.
Yes, sir. So the next question is from our chairman, Dean Faculty of Law, Professor Dr. Dashrath, sir. I would like to ask him to unmute himself and ask the question orally. So over to you.
Lord, I was going through the judgment delivered by the Honorable Supreme Court in year 2016, that is extrajudicial killing of victims family association versus Union of India, where in the judgment they have referred to the commission appointed by the Supreme Court, where in which you have submitted the report, that commission. Very excellent report you have submitted, my lord. But what is happening? Is it true that while balancing between flight and might, and while balancing between patriotism and might of power by the state, the human rights are in jeopardy? Is it so, my lord?
Sir, so far as I'm concerned, my personal views in regard to an institution or an individual doesn't come into play when I investigate that person or that institution for an alleged offense. Now, you are referring to my report in regard to Manipur encounter cases and all, where the Indian Army is involved in it and all. As I pointed out to you, I have the highest regard for the Indian Army. And you remember I told you that I gave a crore rupees to the Indian Army. I could have given it to anybody else. But then I have the highest regard for the Indian Army and their valor and their commitment to the nation's integrity. But very unfortunately, if the army is used for solving the internal conflict, then another type of conflict arises. You see, the soldiers are trained to kill. They are not trained to judge whether he should be saved or killed. No, they consider everybody they are facing are enemies and they have to be killed. In that background, when the Manipur in the incident where terrorists were existing, they were terrorists and they were saying, instead of giving it to the Indian army, they should have given to police or a paramilitary police force who are in law accountable for their action, where army is not accountable for their action. Now, just to give one example so that the viewers will know what was the basis of my report in this. I'm not the only one. There was a retired chief election commissioner. There was a DGP of Karnataka also along with me. All of us agreed in the finding that we arrived at and all. So to give one incident, one 16-year-old boy who was, according to the information supplied to the Indian Army, was a terrorist. Now, this person was arrested and taken about 15 to 16 kilometers away from his village and was asked to run. And when he started running, he was shot on his back. Nearly 12 to 15 bullets were found in his body, entering from the backside, meaning thereby he was running the thing. He had no weapons. And it was reported that is an encounter death. How can it be? 7 such incidents were referred to us, and we inquired into it and submitted. All 7 are murder, not encounter death. This is according to, I've mentioned in the report, not I, the committee has mentioned in the report that mainly because of the fact of attitude of the agency which is given the entrusted with the job of containing this terrorism or anti-national activities. Now they are trained to kill. They kill. They don't think whether he's done what law is violated. Why is he being prosecuted? No. That is one example. I don't care about what the consequences, in spite of the fact that the Indian Army was the highest regard I have. But when it was shown to me and proved to me that they're wrong, I have mentioned it in my report. So is my mining report. So is many other things. But what I have done is what I conscientiously thought was the thing. I never tried to appease anybody. For example, the chief minister who invited me to become the Lokayukta was also indicted in my mining report. If I wanted another job, I could have covered up everything. My report shows a former Congress chief minister, a former JDS chief minister, a BJP chief minister. I have not saved any political party in it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my lord. Thank you so much.
The next question is from our faculty, Dr. Jyoti Viswanatha. Respected sir, an overwhelming lecture. Has COVID-19 somewhere made us rethink about our social values? Has it made us return to our original social values and roots?
It's a matter difficult to, and the question difficult to answer because I have not seen the world outside for the last 120 plus days. I know only about myself. I have forgotten the route from my house to my club or my friend's house because I have not stepped out of the house. I haven't had a haircut for the last 4 months. I have followed the rule of self-containment or the saying without any failure, without any saying. I'm not wearing a mask now because I'm sitting at home. I'm alone here. Even otherwise in my house, I don't allow visitors. I don't go out of the front door. So COVID has had its own effect so far as I'm concerned. I have forgotten the outside world. There's nothing to see in the television because it's only statistics of COVID. Newspapers are no better. In that background, what social impact it has had outside my house, I'm not able to comment on and discuss it. But for me, it has not made much of a change, but everything has been routine in my lifestyle. Get up in the morning, get ready, have a breakfast, have lunch, maybe rest for a while in the evening, again do the same thing, have dinner and go back to sleep. I speak to people on phone, but no personal meeting, including the ones I love. I only speak to them on the phone. So I don't know what will be the reaction when COVID comes to an end, if at all it comes to an end. But it has definitely taught us many lessons that you do something in excess of what you should do, or you treat nature so disrespectfully. This is what happens. And of course, there are people who take advantage of this tragedy also. There's money in it also. You read about it. ನನಗೇನಿದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
Thank you, sir. The next question. Recently, the Honorable Supreme Court said, public-spirited individuals have too much spirit and no merit in regards to the PIL's public interest litigations. Do you think this thought poses a challenge?
This is too wide a comment to make. I hope the people who make that comment should know they are also involved in the decision-making process. So their spirit is also involved. Are they talking about spirits which come in bottles or spirits which come in a human heart? What spirit are they referring to? Of course, you have invented public interest litigation. You have invited people to interfere in administration or this thing and bring it to the notice of the judiciary whenever it's violated. In that process, there's bound to be some people who misuse that system. Why do you blame the system now? If somebody has misused it, punish that man. Don't blame the system. Impose cost for misuse of the system. Don't blame the system. It only indicates your attitude. You are the only right-spirited person. All others are adulterated spirit. It's very easy to make comments when you're in a seat of power.
Yes, sir. We have a question from a 9th standard student from Pune, a school student. His question is, can we have a law to ensure that politicians follow what they promise during elections? From a 9th standard student, sir.
Yeah, I am happy that we are, even youngsters are finding touching the point where it is absolutely necessary to be discussed. But how do we do it? The promises that made are not ones that could be enforced. There's no law which says he can be held to the same. A person who makes a promise during the election time, there's no law which says you can't breach that promise. That is the way the society is. But you hold him responsible for that breach. And next time, we at least see that he doesn't get elected. But who is that who has not made the promise and who has not broken it? Which politician has done it? You allow them to make promises like you can, I mean, I don't want to give examples which indicate the person who gave that example. The fact is, they all make promises and promises and promises. We should realize whether it is possible to be executed. When a man says, I'll bring a law which will give you every month so much money, we should understand and question him then and there. How will you make it, I say? Is it possible to make it? These are the things, which we should react to it and expose such people. Even the oath of office you take, does it have any respect? Is it not just a formality which the man doesn't even take it seriously when he reads it out aloud? So much so today, there are people who take oath in the name of God knows what is what. The Constitution respects the oath being taken in the name of God or the Constitution. It doesn't allow you to take it in the name of your father or your master teacher or your girlfriend or somebody, but that's what's happening today. That itself shows the attitude of sincerity in what they say. And none of us hold them responsible for that. And we should develop an attitude of pinpointing these promises at the time it is made. How will you make it, sir? Will you hold yourself responsible for it? At least let him make one more statement. If I don't fulfill that promise, I'll resign. Even that can't be implemented, but I'm just saying then that will be exposing it a little more, him a little more. Public spirit is not there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The next following question is from Panchami Pranesh. The question as follows, sir. With political parties using religious sentiments to win elections, how do we ensure the society prioritizes humanity over caste and other fault lines?
Well, these are two different questions in the sense, first of all, when he makes that religious, this thing to bring in religion to the public life, I think he got to question him then and there. How do we do it is, ignore it and all, or don't believe him, and think of the consequences of basing his views on religion when it comes to public life. We are a secular country. That doesn't mean, of course, you can't believe in God, but you can't bring your personal thing to public life. Religion, according to me, I'm a strong believer of my religion, but I don't bring my religion out. Neither in my speeches, nor in my writing, nor in my judgment, which has no place because the Constitution of India says this is a secular state. Therefore, we got to realize that certain things, are extremely difficult to control, but then we must try to control it. We must sort of condemn the people then and there. That's when you strike the iron when it is hot.
Okay. Let me intervene here. As Honorable Justice is speaking since almost more than an hour, and considering his age, if Honorable Justice wish to take some more questions, we'll take few more. Otherwise, we can wind up.
I am unemployed, so I'm prepared to go, provided your schedule should not be disturbed.
It's okay, sir. We can go on. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir, before we proceed, I would just like to acknowledge the presence of a few dignitaries amongst us.
Yeah.
Shri B.V. Acharya, Senior Advocate, Shri H.K. Patil, former Law Minister, Government of Karnataka, Professor C.S. Patil, Director and Dean Faculty of Law, Karnataka State Law University, and Shri Mohan Kataki, Senior Advocate. We are truly honored to have your presence with us today, sirs. Thank you so much.
My namaskar to all the dignitaries you mentioned just now, apart from everybody else.
Thank you. Okay. Ajit, you can go on.
Yes, sir. So next question is from Ganesh Swami.
Yeah.
Sir, ರಾಜಕೀಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಮೊದಲಿದ್ದ ಯಾವುದೊಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ಭಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆದ ಕಾರಣ ಈಗಿನ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಹಿಂದಿನ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಗೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಅಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಸರಿಪಡಿಸುವ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ನಿಲುವೇನು ಸರ್?
ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಯಾರಂತ ನಾವು ಮೊದಲು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾವ ಭರವಸೆ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದರ ಉಲ್ಲಂಘನೆಯನ್ನ ಅವರೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಶ್ನಿಸಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರು ಕೊಡುವಂತ ಭರವಸೆಗಳಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಅವರ ವಿಚಾರಗಳಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಅದು ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಯನ್ನ ಹೊಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ವಿರೋಧನೂ ತೋರಿಸಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ನ ವಿಚಾರ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, ನಾವೊಂದು ಅಭ್ಯಾಸವನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, ಯಾವತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಸುಳ್ಳು ಭರವಸೆಯನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೋ, ಯಾವತ್ತೊಂದು ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನ ಕಾನೂನು ಬಾಹಿರವಾದ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೋ, ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ದುರುದ್ದೇಶದಿಂದ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೋ, ಆವಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಈ ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಡಿ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಇದು ಯಾಕೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಂತ. ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ವಿರೋಧ ಆ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲೇ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮೊದಲು ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಕೇಳಕ್ ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ ಇದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಮಾತಾಡುವವರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳ್ಬಹುದು, ಅದನ್ನ ಜನರು ನಂಬ್ತಾರೆ, ನಂಬದೇ ಇದ್ರು ಸುಮ್ಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಅದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಕೆಲವು ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಓದಿದಾಗ ನನ್ಗಂತೂ ಒಂದು ಸಲ ಕೋಪ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಕೆಲವು ಸಲ ತಮಾಷೆ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಈ ಬಾಯಿಗೆ ಬಂದಂಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟೇಷನು, ಇದನ್ನ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ವರದಿ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಇದು ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ವಿರೋಧಿಸಿ ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ. ಅಂತ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನ ಬಹಿರಂಗಪಡಿಸಿದಂತ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನ್ ಕ್ರಮ ತಗೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಕೋರ್ಟಿಗಂತೂ ಹೋಗಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ 50 ವರ್ಷ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ ನಾವು. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಕೆಲವು ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ವಿರೋಧಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಘಟನೆಗಳು ನಡೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಧೈರ್ಯ ನಮ್ಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಈ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ, ಇದು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಅಥವಾ ದುರುದ್ದೇಶದಿಂದ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅನ್ನೋ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರ ಮುಖದ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೆದರಿಕೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಇದೇ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಓ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ವಿರೋಧಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಧೈರ್ಯ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನ್ನ ವಿಚಾರ.
ಹೌದು ಸರ್. So the next question is from Nidhi Kumar. The question as follows: how do we tackle the problem of defection taking place excessively in our country? How do we reprimand people with great power and responsibilities who place their own interests above general well-being of the society?
As I mentioned all this time, very few people in power, I'm not talking only about political power, I'm talking about executive power, I'm talking about judicial power, has interest to the public at large. That's an exception, which was the rule in principle earlier, has become exception. ನಾನು ಇವಾಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ನಿರ್ಧಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮೊದಲನೇ ವಿಚಾರ ತನ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ತಾನು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದೇನೆಂದ್ರೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೇನಿದೆ ಅನ್ನುವ ವಿಚಾರ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ to change this, there should be a social boycott of such thinking or such people. You got to expose people who have utilized the office for their own purposes and not for the benefit of the society. Ask them to evaluate themselves. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ತೋರಿಸಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಜವಾಬ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಅಥವಾ ಹಿಂದೆ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಭರವಸೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಒಬ್ಬ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ ಅಧಿಕಾರವನ್ನ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡ ನಂತರ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಅನ್ನೋ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡುದು, ಅದು ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗವೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಕಾರ್ಯಾಂಗವೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಟೈಮ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ರೆ, when the iron is hot, if it is exposed, then it has some value. ಮತ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇದು ಈ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೋಗಿದೆ ಇವತ್ತು. ಅದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಅವರ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ, ಅವರನ್ನು ವಿರೋಧ ಮಾಡುವವರು ಬಹಳ ಕಮ್ಮಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ರಾಜಕೀಯದ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೊಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂತ ಜನರ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಎಷ್ಟಂತ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ. ನಾನು ಕಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ನನ್ನ ತಂದೆಯವರು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಚುನಾವಣೆಗೆ ನಿಂತಿದ್ರು. ಗೆದ್ದ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ 4 ಗಂಟೆ ಮನೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಕ್ಯೂ ಇರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ನನ್ನ ಮಗನಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸೀಟ್ ತೆಗೆಸ್ಕೊಡಿ, ನನ್ಗೊಂದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡಿ, ನನ್ಗೊಂದು ಪ್ರಮೋಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಅದು ಯಾಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ? ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಇವತ್ತೊಂದು ಪದ್ಧತಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೋಗಿದೆ. ಕಾನೂನು ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿದ್ರು ಅದು ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ ಅನ್ನುವ ಭರವಸೆ ಕೊಡುವವರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 50, 60, 70ನೇ ದಶಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಗೆದ್ದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿದ ನಂತರ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಸೇವೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಈ ಗೈರ್ ಕಾನೂನು ಭರವಸೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕವಾಗಿ ವಿರೋಧಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ಅವರ ಅಧಿಕಾರದ ಲಾಭ ಪಡೆಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸರಿ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಸರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಜವಾದ ಸರಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಸರಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಒಪ್ತೇವೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಚುನಾಯಿತ ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಯ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಏನು. There is something called separation of power. An elected representative is not the boss of the executive. ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿರಿಯರು ಅಂದೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯ ಸಿಗುವಾಗ, ಚುನಾವಣೆಗೆ ನಿಲ್ಲುವವರಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ವಿದ್ಯಾ ಅರ್ಹತೆಯನ್ನು ಬೇಡ, ಯಾವ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸು ಬೇಡ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರಿಂದ ಆ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟೇ ಅಥವಾ ಸದನದ ಚರ್ಚೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅವ್ರು ಸೀಮಿತರಾದವರು, ಇನ್ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಡಳಿತಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅವತ್ತು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಕ್ರಮೇಣವಾಗಿ ಆ ಅಧಿಕಾರಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾವ ವಿದ್ಯಾ ಅರ್ಹತೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ರೂ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಾಂಗದ ಸದಸ್ಯನಾಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ IAS ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಒಬ್ಬ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಧೀಶನಾಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವ್ರಿಗೇನಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, ತಪ್ಪಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಜೀವನದ ಅನುಭವಗಳನ್ನ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಒಂದು ಶಾಸನವನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಆಡಳಿತ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ಅಧಿಕಾರನೂ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತು ಹಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅಂಥ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಸರಿನೇ. ಇವಾಗ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗದವರೇ ಆಗಲಿ, ಆಡಳಿತದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದವರೇ ಆಗಲಿ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಜನರ ಸಂಪರ್ಕ ಈ ಶಾಸಕಾಂಗದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದವರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಇರದೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಅದು ಶಾಸಕಾಂಗಕ್ಕೆ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನನಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ ವಿ ಬಿಗ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನ ಮರು ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಳವಡಿಸುವ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ನ್ಯೂನತೆಗಳ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನ್ನ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ದುರಾಸೆಯ ಒಂದು ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯ ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ ಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. 50ನೇ ದಶಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಹಗರಣ ಬಯಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು, ಜೀಪ್ ಹಗರಣ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ದೇಶಕ್ಕಾದ ನಷ್ಟ 51,000. ಅಂದು 1,000 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮೊತ್ತ. ತದನಂತರ ಮುಂದ್ರಾ ಹಗರಣ, ಡಾಲ್ಮಿಯಾ ಹಗರಣ, ನಗರ್ವಾಲ್ ಹಗರಣ ಅಂತ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಹಗರಣಗಳು ಬಂದಾಗ ಆ ಬಯಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದ ಹಗರಣದ ಮೊತ್ತದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಸೊನ್ನೆಗಳ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬಂತು. 60ನೇ ದಶಕಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಬೋಫರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಹಗರಣ ಬಯಲಿಗೆ ಬಂತು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ದೇಶಕ್ಕಾದ ನಷ್ಟ 64 ಕೋಟಿ. ತದನಂತರ 2G ಹಗರಣ ಬಂತು, 1,86,000 ಕೋಟಿ. ಕಾಮನ್ವೆಲ್ತ್ ಗೇಮ್ಸ್ 70,000 ಕೋಟಿ. ಕೋಲ್ಗೇಟ್ ಕಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಲ್ನ ಹಗರಣ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 1,86,000 ಕೋಟಿ. ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಮೊತ್ತ ಸೋರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಹೆಂಗಾಗ್ತದೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ? ದಿವಂಗತ ರಾಜೀವ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು 85ನೇ ಇಸ್ವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಸೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಿರಂಗವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ ಮಾತು, ಅಂದು ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ₹1 ಅನುದಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಫಲಾನುಭವಿ ಓದದ್ದು 15 ಪೈಸೆ ಮಾತ್ರ. 85ರಲ್ಲಿ ₹1 15 ಪೈಸೆ ಮಾತ್ರ. ದುರಾಸೆ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತೇನಾಗಿದೆ? ₹10 15 ಪೈಸೆ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಇದು ಬರೀ ಅವರ ದುರಾಸೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸಮಾಜದ ನ್ಯೂನ್ಯತೆ. ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ ಮುಖಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳುವಂತ ಧೈರ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡ್ತೇವೆ ನೀವು, ಎನ್ಕೌಂಟರ್ ಡೆತ್ ಅಂತೇವೆ. ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಕಾನ್ಪುರದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಾಯ್ತು. ಕೋಇನ್ಸಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದವರನ್ನು ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ 10 ಮೈಲ್ ಹಿಂದಿನನೇ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದವರು. ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುವಾಗ ನಿಲ್ಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಗಾಡಿ ಪಲ್ಟಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಈತ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ, ಗನ್ನನ್ನು ಕಸಿತಾನೆ, ಮತ್ತು 4 ಜನರಿಗೆ ಹೊಡಿತಾನಂತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಓಡುವ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿ? ಆ ದಿವಸ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡುವಾಗ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ. ಅಧಿಕಾರದ ದುರ್ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಅದು ಕಾರ್ಯಾಂಗ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಶಾಸಕಾಂಗ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ಈ ಸಮಾಜವನ್ನು ಬದಲಾಯಿಸೋಣ. Let's build a society which condemns these things, which do not expect anything illegal from any one of the members of the 3 pillars of the Constitution. Let's have respect for law.
Yes, sir. So the next question is from Nikhil Sindagi to the Honorable Justice. We have seen the increase in personality cults among politicians. What should we be aware of the downfall of excessively following or believing in such persons? Similar.
According to me, if you develop an attitude of contentment, then you'll be able to judge better. You won't expect anything which is not expected from the elected representative or others in the thing. But today, we are of the opinion the elected representatives can do anything and everything, so you go and beg of them. So naturally, they have to make promises. And some promises they may keep it, but then the process adopted is illegal. If you help one person, you are hurting another person. Understand, anything you do, when you go to help somebody which is not permissible in rules, you are hurting somebody else. Therefore, we have to, and who will take the responsibility? Individually, you can't take it. It is that inanimate body called society, which is the collective opinion of the members of that group, which alone can change. And that's my hope. I travel hundreds of miles to address students, hoping one little percentage might change. That might increase in the days to come. It has to change. Take it from me, nothing is permanent. Evolution brings about changes. But the question is, what process the evolution adopts? It is just a change for the sake of change, that's a destruction. A positive change which brings about, gives a positive result, that's the change that's necessary. That's why a change with values, change with contentment will be there. Of course, the touch of humanism, absolutely necessary.
Yes, sir. We have a question from Aslan Zaidi, a 5th year student from our college. Sir, what is your opinion on what is the best actions against corrupt bureaucrats and whether if a similar pattern can be followed for political individuals?
Definitely. Let me answer the last part of the question. Who are these political individuals? They're also human beings. They're also public servant. They are not something superior. They have not come from heaven. The word public servant means he who draws any emoluments from the treasury. Whether it is an elected representative who also draws emoluments, an IAS officer who's executive who also draws an emolument, a judge who also draws an emolument from the treasury, are all public servants. They have certain responsibilities and consequences. If you do not follow your responsibility as laid down in law, the consequences follows. The consequences might end up in administrative punishment or judicial punishment, which is incarceration. But unfortunately, if all these institutions are affected by lack of values, then there's nothing you can do. We do find people who are in high position that cases are taken out of turn. We do find IAS officers who are indulging in corrupt practices, which is an offense under the Prevention of Corruption Act. We do find, of course, the representatives of the people who indulge in many activities which is not their jurisdiction. Because arrogance of power. We have worshipped them and taken them to that level. And they really believe they are masters of the citizens.
Yes, sir. This question is from Girish Kumar, guest faculty in our college. Respected sir, my question is regarding abolition of 79A and 79B of Karnataka Land Reforms Act through promulgation of ordinance. Don't you think that we are going from egalitarian society to zamindari system? Like, where is the social value in the present government stand in protection of this piece of social legislation?
Frankly, I don't want to answer this because I have not studied it. Without studying it, I don't want to say. Land Reforms Act was an egalitarian act of legislature. I don't know how these two amendments are affecting it, so let me not comment on it without knowing. I'm not supporting it. I don't know, nor am I condemning.
Yes, sir. It's an anonymous question. Like, what are the top 5 books that youngsters should read? Like, what do you recommend for the top 5 books?
Again, I must read. I'm a very poor reader. I've not read many books apart from law books. And of course, I don't read law books now and all. But that attitude of not reading except comics is saying I've not read many books and all. The one book which I've read, which has really influenced me, is Roses in December. It's a biography of the MC Chagla, written long time back and all. But apart from that, no, I don't think I've read any books recently.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We come to the end of this question answer session. Thank you so much, sir, for answering the questions.
My pleasure. I enjoyed it. I thank people who have asked me questions. I also thank people who have listened to it. Let me concede, I am not an expert in the fields where the questions have been asked, but as a layman also, I've answered it. I don't think I've been right in every question that I've answered, but that's my view. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you for the opportunity to participate in this program.
Thank you, sir. Over to you, Niharika.
Thank you, Ajit.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for providing your critical analysis and answering the most pressing questions pertaining to the setback in our society. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to announce the next special lecture in this series. We are pleased to announce that Shri Mohan Katharki, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India, will be delivering the next lecture on the topic Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, Nile Basin Split Wide Open, on the 22nd of July 2020 at 5 p.m. on the Zoom meeting app. So we're really looking forward to all of your participation in the next lecture.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll have a vote of thanks, formal vote of thanks by Professor Sudesh, sir.
Yes, so now I request Professor Dr. V. Sudesh, former Principal and Dean, University Law College, Bangalore University, to render the vote of thanks.
With the hope that I am audible,
Yes.
Ellerigu namaskara, namaste to one and all. On behalf of Bangalore University, University Law College, and the Department of Studies in Law, I have the privilege to propose the vote of thanks to one and all present here today, especially to our chief guest, to the speaker of the day, Honorable Justice N. Santosh Hegde, sir. Sir, your talk today has really inspired all of us. I remember a quote on this occasion. I quote, "Your life does not get better by expectation. It gets better by transformation." I believe that's true. Sir, from your speech, I conclude that the vaccine for curing corruption is to be honest and be human. Sir, you have thrown light upon several issues, sufferings of people because of fallen social values. You have said that people who occupy posts must first serve the people. Sir, you have rightly said that youth can change and they will have to change for the better of the society. Sir, you have rightly pointed out that the fall in moral values, the greed for money and power, the functioning of the way the legislature functions, all needs a change. So indeed today, being a Sunday, we had a feast of social values. We take your statement that we must build a society which does its duty and doesn't expect anything. So thank you so much, sir. We expect that you will be associated with us in all our future endeavors. So thank you, sir, from all of us here. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Be assured that I'll be with you anytime you want.
Thank you,
very much.
I also take this opportunity to thank Shri H.K. Patil, former Minister of Law, Government of Karnataka. I also thank Mohan Katarki, sir. I thank Professor C.S. Patil, Shri B.B. Acharya, many senior advocates from the Supreme Court, especially Baswa Prabhu Patil. I also thank the President of University Law College Hon'ble Association, Sri Gautam Chand. I thank our Principal, Dean Faculty of Law, and all the members of the faculty for creating an opportunity on this Sunday. All of us sitting at the comforts of our home, we are actually fed by so many social values. Thank you, dear students. Be with us and let's take University Law College to new global heights. With these words, I thank one and all. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Namaste. Be safe. Keep safe. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. I would just like to remind all the participants that the feedback form is in the Zoom chat. So kindly fill in the form. Thank you.